Hi, my name is Megan, and welcome to the On Stride Equestrian. Today I'm going to be talking about hunter jumper bumps, but I'm just going to be using the term hunter's bumps. If you'd like, I want to know how many people know about hunter's bumps. If you could just comment down below if you know about them already, or if this is a new subject, I'd love to know. A hunter jumper bump, I'm just going to be using the term hunter's bump, is a prominent bump, and I can include a picture now. It is a prominent bump where the sacrum of the horse attaches to the spine. Now, this prominent bump is often seen in the hunter jumper discipline, and some people actually think that this bump is a sign of good confirmation that the horse will be a good jumper and is actually looked up upon or praised. However, this is so far from the truth. A hunter jumper bump is caused when the sacrum of the horse, and I can include a picture now of a normal sacrum and spine attachment, and here we have a unnormal sacrum and spine attachment. As you can see in the picture, the sacrum in the second picture has actually separated from the spine, and they are no longer attached, causing this bump to come up. If that doesn't sound pretty painful to you, I don't know what does. And yes, it is painful to the horse. And you may be wondering, how is this caused? A hunter's bump is caused by poor riding, poor training, and in rare causes, an injury. What happens is that the ligaments holding up the sacrum start falling apart, causing it to disconnect. And this is because the horse is not being worked over the back. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not shamming hunter jumpers, I'm not doing any of that. What I'm saying is that I believe that some techniques need to be done to fix this problem because the horses are in a lot of pain. And there are ways to go into a hunter frame or into a jumper frame where the horse is moving over the back and not being hollow, so that it can work correctly and have longevity. Horses a long time ago used to be able to be functional for 20 years. Now we're only getting 6 or 7 or 8 years of useful, work into them, and that's because that their suspension in the back is non-existent anymore. We're not riding our horses so that they're prepared to handle the amount of weight. A horse moving over the back is one that is engaging its hind end to its front end. And you might see it's very typical in the dressage ring where you see this horse in a beautiful frame. However, that takes about a year to build up top-line muscling. And I can include some links and videos where you can see that I like, where you can see how to build up top-line muscling and what connection looks like. And if you'd like, you can comment down below. I know about connection and how to get it done if you'd like me to make a video on it. So if your horse has a hunter jumper bump and you don't know what to do about it, it is an awfully hard thing to fix, but there are ways to do it. The first thing I would recommend is getting off your horse and start down from the ground, because what all horses should learn is how to carry themselves correctly from the beginning. And if your horse is not learning how to carry itself correctly from the beginning, then you need to start over, because a horse that is missing steps in the training scale is going to run into worse problems later on, such as lameness, etc., etc. So I would start by getting your horse on the ground, and I would start by using, a piece of equipment that will encourage the horse to move forward and downward. And I think there is this, there is a type of lunging equipment I use. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but I will try to find a picture now and put it in. I personally don't like side reins or those little donut things, or I hate long lining. Please do not long line your horse. I can make a video on that if you want to know why it's terrible. But you want to find a piece of lunging equipment that allows the horse to go forward and downward and seek the contact, seek the bit, and be able to freely move its head where it wants to. And this piece of lunging equipment that I included a picture in helps do that. And I would start by, lunging the horse, walk and trot around in a circle, and not just in circles, you can lead your horse down the arena and just do lunging until it correctly learns to move itself. This is an awfully long process. If your horse does seem to have a hunter's bump, it can take up to a year to learn, but I assure you that, it will be very beneficial to the horse. Once you have started lunging in that lunging process, I would recommend that you get some lessons at a barn, preferably like a dressage barn. And just a little word about dressage. Dressage, the word in French, means to train. And any horse, in Europe that's brought over to the Americas, whatever, is first started in dressage. Because dressage is a fundamental learning process for both horse and rider, so that you can go on to other disciplines. So it's very helpful to the horse and to the rider, to you, if you go into dressage. And if your horse has a hunter's bump or is not learning how to move correctly over the back, I would suggest that you get just a few dressage lessons or go to a barn that, teaches how to properly move over the back. And just learn what contact feels like, what a horse truly moving over the back feels like. And not to offend, if your horse has a hunter's bump, if your horse has no top line, a short neck, then the horse is not moving correctly over the back. If your horse is behind the vertical, the horse is not properly connected with its back, and it's incorrect, and I would suggest that you go to a barn where you can learn what correctness and moving over the back correctly feels like, and make sure that your horse is doing the same, so that way the longevity and the health of your horse is secured, and you can go on to the hunters, you can go on to the jumpers, and your horse will look beautiful, and the longevity will be correct. So after you learn what proper connection feels like, you can start to teach your horse to accept the connection and move freely over the back. But this process takes over 1 to 2 years to learn. So good luck. If you have any questions, just ask me, comment, email me. My email will be down in the description. Thank you and have a wonderful day.